we'll say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next we'll call for a roll call, starting on my right.
Councilperson Josh Hart. Councilperson Brett Snyder.
Mayor Jimmy John King.
Councilperson Craig Anderson.
Councilperson Jeremiah Oljan.
Looking for approval of tonight's agenda. Any additions from the staff?
Should be good. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Approval, we're looking for approval of council meeting minutes from the regular meeting of August 28th, 2021.
I'll make a motion on that as well.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That also carries. That takes us to finance and budget. We have accounts payable listing, and then we'll have a little bit of a third quarter budget review after we get done with that motion. So if you have any questions on the accounts payable, ask Carla.
How many trees were removed in that 400 Sunset Court Northeast for $3,800?
One,
Really? Must have been a big tree, huh?
they had to crane it out, so the original quote was like $2,300, but then the crane was hourly, so that it took a few
Never heard
hours.
of Astorino's tree service before.
Yeah,
Is that a
they're-
Rochester?
God, that ain't cheap, man.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Carla, do you want to give us a rundown on the third quarter?
Absolutely. So in your packet is the third quarter review. Looking at your revenue and expenditures, and it just kind of gives you a breakdown. If you're looking at the second one of the revenue and kind of where we're at, and actually we're considering we are, 3/4 of the way through, and we only get the tax payments, which is the most of our income. We're actually doing very well this year. Part of that within the general budget too is coming from those extra funds that we got from the federal government. But all in all, that looks good. And there's just some different ways to look at the percentages of government. So we're at 63, almost 64% of our revenue budget. And the second half of the property taxes are still yet to come in. If you look at the revenue details, you can kind of, peruse through and see where everybody's at, and most of them are within where they should be, or actually above at this point, so.
So for the retail revolving loan, that's way over on revenue, is that from federal money then too? Would that be
No,
added to
so
it?
actually, we've had people that are paying ahead, so when we were figuring out what the
Really?
income's coming in for that, then we've got people who, has made a couple of big payments, out at Sprouts, they're making additional payments on that, so
Oh,
a
cool.
lot of them are paying ahead on it, or they'll pay it off early if they can. So, and then just more graphs to kind of, different ways to look at it, depending on how you'd like to see it. And then you go into the expense, and for the most part, you're at, 3/4 of the expense budgets, other than like in the capital, because a lot of times the capital is not spent until towards the end of the year, and within that capital too is that big allotment that we have for like the streets and the CIP that gets transferred out of there. All in all, we're at 48% of our expense budget for the entire year, which, considering we're 3/4 of the way through, we're doing well. Like I said, there are some of the bigger things that happen at the end of the year. And you've got all of the details in there for each of them. Nothing is to be concerned about for any of them. There may be line items here and there that one or the other may be over, but as a bottom line as a whole, everything is good. So if you guys have any questions on any of it, just let me know. I just want to kind of give you an overview of where we're sitting.
Any questions for Carla?
Is that just an info thing, or is that an action item?
No, it's just.
We don't need to approve anything, do we?
No, nothing. information for you, just to show you where the city is sitting and, you know, what we're doing with our funds and our revenues and expenditures.
Any questions from the table? That'll take us to motions of general business. First item on our motions of general business tonight is vacation of partial controlled access on Schuman Drive Northwest. We have public hearing. Public hearing tonight will be held in regards to vacating a portion of the controlled access restriction as shown on the Schuman Business Park plat. The 30-foot vacation is needed for the entrance exit to Taco Bell. Staff has been working with MnDOT and they have no issue with vacating the 30-foot. I'm going to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Do we have any written or oral?
We do not.
Do we have anybody here who wants to say anything? Staff have anything else to add?
So is that when it was originally designed? It was just a regular driveway and then they decided to kind of curve it back to widen the edge of that a little bit? That's why that changed?
No, actually, when they first designed it, there was 2 driveways. The second one was coming right out of their drive-through, and it was just a right turn only, and MnDOT did not approve of that. So then when we worked with them to take it down to 1, we needed to increase that size to control the traffic, so it made traffic easier.
Sure.
Which then we had to, we're encroaching on that 30, or that 180-foot controlled access area, so we're vacating just 30 feet.
That makes sense to me.
What is really the purpose of the controlled access area in?
So that a driveway doesn't come in too close, so they, cars stack up and.
Okay.
And with that intersection, once you leave Taco John, some people are gonna have to drive or go left to north.
Right.
So it was to give them enough space to get across the lanes
Yeah.
to the left side.
Okay.
What would they do if the state had said no, that they didn't wanna?
Well, there's been some interesting discussions with that, but, yeah, they would have had to readjust, and they did. Taco Bell has been excellent, it's kind of held up the project a little bit. We have one more thing that we've got to visit with them in the next day or so, but, yeah. In light of this, from now on, when we get these, we'll send them to MnDOT right away for their review. We told Taco Bell that up front, make sure you comply with all of their restrictions and requirements. This kind of came really late in the game, so.
All right, anything else for the public hearing? Hearing nothing, I'm gonna close the public hearing, go back to the regular meeting. All right, so the council action requested will be to approve resolution 2021- approving the partial vacation of controlled access restrictions. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. That'll take us on to the next item under general business tonight is library aid position, excuse me. Yeah. With the conclusion of the phone and in-person interview process, Nate would like to offer our part-time library aide position to Sally Olson at the rate of grade 4, step 2. Sally has completed a master's degree in library and information science from St. Kate's University and has significant library and museum experience. If approved, Sally's first day would be on or around October 25th. She is currently relocating to the area from the Twin Cities.
Gosh, sure, we approve it then if she's already relocated.
Council action requested would be to approve or deny Sally Olson to be hired for the position of library aide. Staff have anything to add?
Just fits within that succession thing, since Sarah moved up, then this person moves into that, former position.
Alright. Council have any questions? Hearing none, I need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve Sally, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That also carries. That Takes us out of that to mayor, staff, and consultant reports. Tonight, the city of Stewartville would like to send their sympathies to the families of Lois Chilson, Harold Curtis, Donald Brown, and Lucille Johnson. And a big thank you out to the chamber for their first annual Oktoberfest. It was a big success, so thank you for that. And let's not forget our firefighters. They had a big turnout, they had a good breakfast. They give to our community all the time. It was one of the best attended open houses and best breakfast we've had in a couple of years, but I guess COVID had something to do with part of it. We hope this showed how the community appreciates you, Vance, and I hope you let the rest of the department know that, because you are some of the finest folks we got in town.
Thank you.
Or Brent. Lieutenant. The Morning Lions will be fundraising at local businesses this Saturday for their White Cane Day event to help with people suffering from sight problems. We had a proclamation here last week, it was in the paper, so if you can stop by and help them out with that. Don't forget to support Grace Free Church as they package meals for Haiti on October 30th. Check out the Stewartville Star for more details. Let's not forget one other unsung heroes of the day. It's National Farmers Day. They deserve the praise and recognition that they don't ever get. They supply this country with the safest food, fuel, fiber, and pharmaceuticals in the world. And there's their one day to shine. They keep the grocery stores full, so we all have a full stomach. Thank you, American farmers and ranchers.
Well, that was like
All right.
Well, get your checkbooks out because it's coming one way or the other.
That's it for the mayor's report. City administrator, do you have anything?
Reports in your packet, just highlight 3 items, one that's in there and then 2 that our staff has started working on. Highlighted item in the report is just to encourage our citizens, again, to fill out the community surveys, or you'll have your own chance, or they will, and all of us will, for the public open house coming up here on Monday the 25th over at the Civic Center from 4:30 to 6:30. And people can come and go, and it'll give them a chance to give us input on how they want to see our roadmap for the future. Then 2 items our staff is working on. Part of it is with the City Center Association, and at least at the moment, Schwickert's Roofing, who takes care of our roofing inspections, because we're looking at a possible, which we're planning for, roof replacement of the whole mall, Civic Center and the condos. And there is a chance that between all of us, we may move that project up a little bit. Otherwise, right now, we have it scheduled for replacement in the 25-26 year time frame. But with some of the issues we're dealing with, we're all taking a look at that. It'll be a sizable project, it'll be capital, but it's things we're all saving for, the rest of the condos in the city. But it's just to make you aware of that as well. The other thing Sean's been working on with that is the HVAC system. Basically, most of those units and the roof itself goes back to the original installation, around 88, 89 time frame. Maybe there's some of the units that have been upgraded or changed. So we've gotten a good life out of them, but we've had 3 that have just gone kaput. And there's 6 on our side, I believe. 7. So we're trying to take a look at that, if this might be a time, if there possibly could be some of these infrastructure dollars that help, or it's just something we'll have to keep budgeting for. But they're bigger ticket items, so we're just making you aware of us now looking at the research. Then the other item is we're working with Jenna's team, some of her wastewater people, because on the 2 oxidation ditches, the roofing area on the west end of those ditches is starting to deteriorate. And these have been here since day 1, since they were built. And so now we're gonna have to look at inspection of those areas and then possibly a replacement of those, which could happen or would be recommended to maybe happen as early as next year. So we're just giving you a heads up. If any of you wanna go see that, we'll take you out there and show you that. Those items though would be covered under our normal waste, sanitary sewer funds. And enterprise funds. So it's things we do plan for, and it's just one of the bigger ticket items you deal with. time to time. That should do it.
Any questions for the administrator? No, you got nothing? No. Thanks, Bill. Finance Director Carla, you got any more to add to your third quarter report or anything?
Nothing more to add to third quarter, other than we're still, looking for a couple last pieces of information to kind of get the final budget buttoned up and ready to roll. And just a reminder that, the next meeting, we do have the CIP assessment hearing, and we are over at the Civic Center for that.
No.
Yep, one item I forgot, I had it in my report, you all had talked about seeing if we can get together this fall for one of those just work session kind of workshops. And so we're asking again, we've got some different items that we want to visit with you for direction for next year. So if you can start looking at your calendars and seeing if we can maybe do something in, I'll just say, end of October, first part of November, I suppose that'd be helpful. And then that gives you a final chance to review any last budget direction as well, so.
All right. Any questions for Carla? All right, thanks, Carla. Public Works Director Sean?
I'll just, reports in there, a little bit more on Bill with the Civic Center. 3 out of the 4 compressors on the main hall over there, or the air conditioners, the compressors are shot. We lived through the season at the very end and it was warm in there because we had extended warmth. But those air conditioners sit on the pedestals, which are part of the roof. That is why we're looking at maybe sliding the roof, because it's gonna be done anyway. And I'd rather, we have issues now with those leaking with the condensation in the air conditioners when it gets really humid. And I'd rather have that all be done at once just to get a cleaner job done, so we hopefully eliminate some of the leaks and whatnot. So that is why all that was put together as one. So other than that, he covered the wastewater plant and everything else is good. In my opinion, maybe you guys have something different.
Looks like you're getting a lot of stuff wrapped up this fall, so it's a good fall.
It's a good fall.
A lot of leaves out in the.
Yeah, we just started this Monday, yesterday.
We're doing leaf picking.
So I started yesterday, and yeah, once they see them go by, they keep going.
Any questions or comments for Sean? You guys got stuff really looking good, really getting shaped up, parks and the wall here and stuff really looking good.
Thanks. Oh, he did finish the wall this week. So if you look at that, notice it.
This one here?
It's got two-tone stain put on over the top of it to make it look more like the building. And then sets the grout off so it looks more like real stone as opposed to just one solid color of the entire wall. So
Did a good job on those trees out there.
we'll be getting the stumps soon. What's that?
All right, thanks, Sean. Tell the guys thanks to no city engineer report tonight. No library director. That takes us to Fire Chief Vance. You got a report for us?
I do. So last month, we had 36 medical calls. Just as comparison, our run numbers just continue to go up. We've talked about that year after year. But we continue to do that. We're at 365 medical calls for the year already with 1,400 hours just in emergency response for medicals. We had 9 fire calls last month, 1 carbon monoxide event, 2 fire alarms, 4 motor vehicle accidents, 1 vehicle fire, and then 1 structure fire. So we had a fire out at the cottages, one of the dryers caught on fire out there. The fire was contained to the dryer itself, but it took us a little while to get it out. It took us probably about 30-40 minutes to ventilate the property out to try to get it where it's habitable again. A couple of new things that are going on. Olmsted County Sheriff's Office provided the Stewartville Fire Department a life-saving award last night. That was associated with Logan's near drowning back on 4/7/21. So the Sheriff Torgerson came and provided that presented that to the department last night. Another thing we're doing is we're seeing a greater need in the community of Stewartville for CPR instruction. The fire department has been reached out to by early childhood, a couple dentist office, and we know there's quite a few other people out there that are looking for CPR instruction. We now have 7 CPR instructors in the fire department that will provide that service to the community. So there's a fee to it. We have a policy on how that's charged out with that. I can forward that to the city council members and Bill, just so everybody's aware of what that is. But there is a cost for us to do that. We're gonna make some nominal money on it, but not a lot of money by any means. So But we're going to start advertising that ability to provide CPR opportunities for people in the community. Like I said, we've got a lot of people like dentist office, different areas looking for CPR instructors and really are struggling to have that done. So we've got some people have stepped up to do that. They've been through all their training. The only thing they have to do now is they have to have a monitored class. So they have to present a class with an instructor overlooking them, and then they're good for a good amount of time. Our annual physicals are coming up for the fire department in November, so we'll be doing that. And that's really about it, other than the busy week that it was.
Yeah, any questions for the chief? That was a huge turnout Wednesday night though.
No, it was a great turnout, so very fortunate to have the community back us like they do.
All right, no questions for the chief? All right, thank you. No pool director report. Takes us communication board, committee, commissions and board reports. Chamber of Commerce. We've got their e-newsletter in there with a lot of stuff going on and coming up. If you haven't read through it, take a look at it. They have anything to add. EDA, HRA.
Maybe next week. Okay.
That's right, say Elcon this time. Finance,
Nothing.
library,
Nothing.
park board.
Minutes are in there.
Okay, you got minutes from a couple meetings, all right? Personnel. Nothing at this time. Planning and zoning.
We had our meeting canceled last week, so.
Anything coming up?
Yep.
Okay. Public safety. Jason, you got anything?
No.
Everything safe out there?
Relatively.
Relatively. Public works,
No report.
ready?
No report.
Roll call.
Minutes in your packet, some basically long-term planning items, so.
Stu 180.
No.
No report. That's no report. Transit Advisory Committee, none tonight. Communications in your packet, you got the comp plan workshop, you got communications about that coming up, don't forget that's Monday, October 25th. Over at the Civic Center, everyone's invited to stop in anytime between 4:30 and 6:30 and give us their vision. Well, that takes us to the open mic. Anyone want the open mic tonight? Jason, you look like you're ready to use it. That takes us to the final motion of the evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Yes.